Welcome to another episode of Unqualified Uprising. I'm your host, Mike. It's the first week of September. Welcome to another episode, a special one, a deep dive on somebody's driving record and driving experience. Stay with us. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I'm going to bring in the producer. That's you.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. That's what you
like
crossing
the
the clown?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, hey.
hey. Hey, hey.
Ho.
I'm going to bring in the co-host number one.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
And the man of the hour.
Hi, my name is Joe.
Hi, your name is Joe.
Yes.
We are going to deep dive into your driving record tonight.
Okay.
How would you describe your driving record?
I'm going to describe it like this.
Go ahead, please.
I am somebody who has a lot of fender benders, like every year or two, because somebody does something stupid.
Who's doing something stupid?
Well, when I first started driving,
When you first started driving,
yes,
do you remember what year
that
this was?
in 2002.
In 2002.
I had 3 or 4 at-fault accidents.
This is when you started driving?
Yeah.
How old were you?
And from 2003 to 2006. And then I've also been unlucky multiple times. I've had more not at fault where people, for whatever reason, just hit me. I have no reason why.
They see
I've
you
gotten
driving.
rear-ended. I've gotten sideswiped. It's really not good.
They see this guy. Oh, I can get money from him. He's got money.
The first thing I got this car from my dad back in 2003.
Your dad's a very nice guy. What kind of car was it?
It was a 1987 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Okay, I'm going to hold you right there. Tom, are you familiar with this car? Since you didn't introduce yourself, I said my co-host number one. I was trying to build up to the entrance of Joe, but you just said, good evening. You didn't give your name.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi, you're Tom. Tom, do you know what a 1987 Cutlass is?
I'm familiar with a 1987 Cutlass, yes.
Okay, Joe. Continue.
It did not have power windows. It had regular roll up, roll down.
Manual windows.
Manual windows, 2 doors? 2 doors?
There were 4.
There were 4 doors.
Yeah.
What kind of shape was this vehicle in?
The body of it, until I got it, was actually in really good shape.
Of course.
It had some mechanical issues that my dad had fixed before he gave it to me.
I want to know, in our millions and millions of fan out there.
And you're going to learn new stuff now about me.
Of course I'm going to learn new stuff.
That you didn't know because we wouldn't discuss this part of the drive. We didn't know each other, so I know you don't know a lot of this stuff.
So, what did the car look like when you got it? And how was the car performing when you initially got it? Did it have a lot of dents and dings?
No.
Was it performing well mechanically and driving correctly?
Yes.
Okay, and then you get your mitts on it.
Yep.
Now what happens?
So I was driving it because it was my first car and I was young. I was driving it like an idiot. And
okay,
as
hold on.
we all do.
Okay, but can be a little bit descriptive. You're on the stand.
Well, I would drive really quick.
And you're allowed to say where'd you live?
I didn't run red lights.
Gloversville?
Johnstown and Gloversville,
Okay.
Amico. And I had gotten pulled over once in that 2-week period before I got into a crash by a police officer who was in the Amico area for passing 2 cars and a truck.
2 cars and a truck. So you passed 3 vehicles.
Yeah. I have no idea. I was flying. Yeah. It was on a double solid line on a hill.
Oh, no.
How long did you have this car for? How long did you have your license?
I'm just lucky I didn't get killed in it. I'm just happy I didn't get killed in it.
Yes, of course.
I was driving it like a maniac.
But hold on. We got to... Okay.
I had it for 17 days.
Driving like a maniac, I don't believe that.
Okay. So you got the car, you're driving around for 17 days.
Yeah.
You're just driving normally? Or are you speeding around not knowing what you're doing?
Well, I was speeding around. I knew what I was doing, but I was speeding around because I was young and I was stupid.
Okay.
And what happened was I was on, I believe it was Comrie Avenue in Johnstown by the industrial park, the Walmart Industrial Park.
I know exactly where you are.
And I was going fast with the car. I don't know how fast, maybe 50, 55.
You were not going 55. I think that's a 55
Well,
there.
I don't really know, but I
do know.
But I was making a right, and I slowed down for the turn, but my tires skidded, and I couldn't make the turn.
Oh, no.
And I ended up slamming into the guardrail.
Oh, no.
That was right there.
Okay.
And the car was totally destroyed. It had to be towed. I think Andy's tow service picked it up.
So you got pulled over by the cops before all this happened for passing them 12 cars?
Yeah, that was before that happened. Yeah, but I wasn't ticketed.
So
he gave me a warning. He just
what did
told
he say?
me.
What did he say to you?
He told me not to do it again. He said that I was going to get killed.
And what did you say to him? Jesus.
Okay, I'm fine.
License and registration. You're gonna die.
Yeah. He said if I see you doing this again, I'm going to give you a ticket. And he also looked at my license and he saw that I was on my 6-month probate.
Uh-oh.
And he said that it would take your license. So don't do it again. So
you decided to crash into a guardrail instead.
Yeah. My dad, Mike, is actually, he's just like you when it comes to the ball busting.
Oh, God.
So I had to sustain an immense, because not only did he give me the car, but he also took the liberty of getting it fixed before giving it to me.
Yeah.
So I had to deal with him telling, oh, we're not going to let you drive again. And I remember I had to wait, and I'm glad I did, because it taught me a much needed lesson. He made me wait to get another car. My whole senior year of school, I ended up getting it 2 weeks before I graduated high school. It was like 10 months that I was without a car after that.
So you had to ride the bus?
Yeah,
like
and he made me actually go. That's what happened too.
He made you ride the bus?
And he made me actually go and buy my own car. He didn't buy me anything after that. And my own insurance. I had to get my own insurance because
we'll get into that. Yeah,
he didn't want to have me on the policy.
Okay, so this was the 87 Cutlass Supreme?
Yeah.
What was next?
After that, I had a 1992 Chevy Lumina.
Okay. How'd you get that, and what happened to that?
I bought it right in this area, not too far away from where we are now doing the podcast. Maybe 20 minutes. It was some guy on a hill. But it was
a guy on a hill?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? There's so much stuff we could talk about.
That's why we're doing.
Yeah,
that's why
I still got to talk to you about my stepmom and the van. Well, not my stepmom. This was my dad's ex and the van I bought for $50 at a garage sale.
What?
But that was a separate story.
Hold on. We'll get to somebody lock this.
I got it.
Joe bought a van for $50 at a garage sale.
I got it. It'll come up again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to know about the guy on the hill that you bought a car from, because in my mind, you're out in a field walking around and there's a fucking guy up on a hill with a car.
I bought the car on the west end of Amsterdam. And it was in the city, but it was on one of the.
Yes. Okay. I know where you are now.
And it was $700. And the car actually did not need that much stuff. It needed brake lines and it needed hoses.
Okay.
You mean the things that the brake lines, things you need.
My dad was knew a backyard mechanic.
I'm sure he did.
Because he lived in the country. So the first thing we did was we brought
$700.
We brought the car there. He fixed it like dirt cheap. I think it might have cost me maybe $100 or $150 to fix.
Okay.
And then after that, I had that car for substantially longer than I had the Oldsmobile. Let's remember, I had the Oldsmobile for 2 weeks.
Yes,
so
we know.
I had this car for about 6 months.
Okay.
This car it ran really good for me through the 6 months I had it.
Okay.
I did not have any mechanical issues with the car.
Okay.
What happened was I was actually at a stop sign, sitting there in Johnstown.
Okay.
But and I actually, what ended up happening was
It's coming. I know it's coming. It's coming.
I came out in front of somebody and I got hit.
Okay. Wait. Okay.
I got sideswiped.
So you ran the stop sign?
I did not run the stop sign. I stopped.
Okay.
Were you in the intersection?
I looked both ways, and I didn't see. There was someone coming that I didn't see coming.
So you
and
go.
The reason I found out later why was because they were pulling out of a driveway, but that driver still didn't have any responsibility. It was mostly my responsibility because even though they were pulling out of a driveway, they were on a road where they had the right of way. So there was a road, there was a stop sign here. They came out from the left, but they pulled out of the driveway on the left. So that's what happened. That's how I got hit. That's how I didn't notice the person.
I didn't see you.
Okay.
I didn't see you.
I got a couple of questions about that. Okay, so the guardrail you couldn't start a fight with.
No,
the guardrail is an inanimate object. You can't get out.
It was 130% my fault. The guardrail thing.
Okay, now these people that you hit, did you like get out and yell at them?
I did not get out and yell at them.
What'd you do? Honk your horn? What'd you do?
I got out. I went to exchange insurance.
What'd they do?
Well, they wanted to call the police because the driver of the car had a permit. The person didn't even have a license. It was the kid.
Oh,
so they had to call.
That poor kid. If you're out there, kid, was it a girl or a boy?
It was a girl. They were both girls.
Good luck, kid.
The mother and daughter.
Were they crying?
Duo. Were they crying?
They weren't crying, no.
Were you crying?
No, I wasn't crying either.
What were you doing?
I was just waiting for the police to get there so we could report it. So
did
that
you
way
get out and like bang on their window, or
I didn't do anything stupid. No, I didn't.
Be
I didn't do anything stupid. No.
You didn't get out and yell, "Hey, I'm calling the police."
No.
Did you sit in their car while you waited for the police to show up?
No, not like. I've yelled. I'll tell you about the stories that I've yelled at people.
Oh my God!
This one here we just reported.
Did the cops come?
The cops came.
What'd you say to the cops? Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean they gave. They gave me a ticket
because
I was responsible for the accident. Oh, that's the other thing. Don't ask this to people that don't have accidents. But one way, at least in New York State.
Oh, no.
In New York State, do
not take any advice from this podcast. Unqualified Uprising are not lawyers, nor can we defend you in court.
Nor should you be listening to us.
Nor should you be listening to us. Do not listen to this podcast.
In New York State, if you cause an accident, right, or you're at fault, you're going to be potentially at fault. They did their investigation. They make the report.
Sure.
One way you know who's at fault. If you're not at fault, you're listed as vehicle 2. If you're at fault, you're listed as vehicle 1. So the primarily at fault driver is listed as vehicle 1. And I didn't notice, but because I talked to so many insurance agents.
You should change your fucking license plate to vehicle 1. Yeah. You should really just do it now.
Well, I mean, I've just it's been since I was probably first started driving. That I had an accident that was actually my fault.
Is anybody hearing this?
Most of them are the other people's fault.
I get it. So the Lumina. The Lumina's gone.
So what happened with the Lumina, the reason why I had to junk it was the accident caused a problem that was kind of already in progress that no one saw. There was a piece of the subframe that was rusted out underneath the car.
Okay.
And when it got hit,
the
piece of the subframe fell out from under it.
Okay.
So they couldn't. It wasn't safe for me to drive. That was pretty much what I was told.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was, mind you, I was still kind of relying on my parents and the backyard mechanic to tell me this stuff. So, and I also had basic liability. I didn't have collision or anything.
Of course.
So I went with what they said. Then I went.
You were like every person's nightmare.
Now
you are everybody's nightmare in living fucking color.
It's craziness. I know, but there's got to be a lot of other people like me out there.
Was that
so? Now this time, there was a wait.
Oh, between the Lumina and
the next but it wasn't.
Yeah, he almost said victim. I heard him. He almost said victim.
It wasn't as long of a wait.
It wasn't. Wasn't your senior year? No, you were out of school.
No, I was out of school.
Were you at ITT Tech?
No, I was going to FM at the time.
We're allowed to say that because it's defunct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're allowed to say that. That's Joe's. That's Joe's scam school he went to. But
yeah.
Oh my God, you're making me laugh so
They
hard.
gave me back the money.
I know. Back to that's a whole nother podcast. That's just Lord Jesus.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. I don't think it's ever gonna end.
I'm not even close to being done yet.
Oh, we know. See, Tom. Okay. Look, my producer Adam, myself, we know. We'll say 50% of what you are telling us. Not in this great detail. Tom
this is
knows
stuff
nothing.
From before I
know. We don't know nothing about this, but we know about your other misadventures. Yeah. But Tom don't know about any of this. Yeah. So he ain't never gonna ride no car with you. It's already decided. But,
I don't think so.
But continue. So we're up to the Lumina. Now you said there's a little bit of a break.
So yeah, this is not as bad as the one between the Oldsmobile and the Lumina. So
thank goodness.
After the Lumina, it was probably like let's see, I totaled the Lumina in June of 2004.
Okay.
So and I got
this is after totaling the Cutlass, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had the Lumina for like 6 months.
Okay, not
That's
17 days.
No.
Yes. Okay.
In August of that year, the backyard mechanic that my dad brought the car to fix.
Okay.
Cooter? Is that his name?
Yeah. Can you? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to say this guy's name, but when you keep saying his name is you don't need to say his name.
Yeah.
We'll call him Cooter.
We'll call you. Yeah. Now you might listen. People that are from other places might listen to this someday, and not live in upstate New York, and not be familiar with a backyard mechanic. This is just some guy that fixes the car in his backyard.
Yeah, like the woods guy,
right?
Guy that does
but he has eyes and teeth and stuff, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't have oven mitt hands.
No,
he's not a fucking Cletus.
No.
Okay. Jesus.
So he's got both hands.
He's got both hands and he can talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you didn't have to pay him in chickens. You paid him with money.
Yeah.
Okay.
His son. His son had a Dodge Intrepid, a 94 Intrepid that he was selling. He wanted 1,100. I ended up getting it for like 1,000.
Of course,
but that car was that was in better condition than the Lumina. That was like the Oldsmobile.
Okay,
that car was in fantastic shape.
Okay, what color was it?
It was a little rusty. The body was a little rusty, but mechanically it was in fantastic shape.
What color was it?
Maroon.
Okay.
Right, Joe, had you learned your lesson at this point? Because you just totaled 2 cars. Now we're on the 3rd car.
Yes, I did. I've just been very accident prone.
That's all a lie. You haven't learned your lesson. You haven't learned your lesson from 20 minutes ago.
I feel like this is going to be 20 cars when we're done.
Yeah.
More than that.
It's only like 15.
So
the Intrepid.
Yeah, the Intrepid. The Intrepid I had for, let's see.
I didn't even know he had it.
How many hours?
I want to say that car I had for 4 years. That car I had for
pretty
a while.
good.
Okay.
So we're getting a little better, progressively getting better here. Better, but not better.
That's 28 dollars.
Let me ask you this question: Did you get any tickets with that car?
Yes.
What kind of tickets did you get with that car?
I got a speeding ticket.
How many?
Well, that was the one where they gave me 2 tickets because
Jesus.
I failed to move over for the cop on the highway. So
Get
I
out
went
of the way!
blow.
Get out of the way! No!
I blew by him. But that was
I pay your salary.
That was before the move over.
Taxation is
Yeah,
up.
my dad was like, you wouldn't believe how much he busted my chops. He still does occasionally.
Okay, so
he's like,
we gotta
you
give-
took the shirt off the cop. The cop sort of breeze blow by, and that's what my dad says. He's always busted my chops.
Okay, cool.
So
wait a minute. So you were what, in front of a police officer?
the cop had someone pulled over on the shoulder of the New York State Thruway.
Oh Lord!
And I was in the right lane going
Sure you
76,
were. Of
and
course
I
you
blew
were.
right by him.
Of course.
And
Did you hit him with a mirror?
No, I did
you
not.
reach your fucking hand out and
Slap
slap him?
him.
No,
Jesus.
and then after
Took his hat.
I got by him, like it was like 2 miles up the road. I see his lights, and I see him flying up to my bumper because he was still wrapping up with the last victim that
yeah,
he
you probably
got.
yelled something when you drove by. His
I
life.
didn't yell anything. I didn't yell anything to him.
Okay.
He let a murderer go to get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably let Osama bin Laden Jr. go because you ran by him going
And he
70
took, and he took his hat.
He was PO'd. He was upset. He
Well,
really-
of course.
Okay, so how did that? Let me ask you. So he pulls you over in your Intrepid.
Yeah. And then I was a dummy too
Oh,
because I was a
no
kid.
shit.
You
Wow.
got to remember I was really stupid. So
Lord.
what I
No
did was
shit.
the first thing I did is something you should never do. When
Would you
the
get
cop-
out and wave a gun at him?
No,
What
no.
are you
Get out!
talking about?
You
What is
got
wrong with
you got out of the car and ran to the
No,
cop's car.
when the
didn't
cop
ya?
when the cop came over to the car, the first thing I said to him is, "Why did you pull me over?"
Oh my God!
And he said, and I said it in like a loud voice, like I was pissed off.
Oh my God!
And he says to me, he says, "You know exactly why I pulled you over." And I said, "Why?" He said,
Why
"Well, you
again?
almost ran me over on the side of the road. You were speeding. You were going 76." And he writes me 2 tickets. He writes me a ticket for failure to yield the special hazards with him on the side of the road, and then he writes me a speeding ticket. I go to court months later.
Okay, go ahead.
And the cop never showed up.
Of course he did.
And they dismissed both the tickets.
Of course they did.
And
Get used to that. Get used to that, fan, because you're gonna hear that exact sentence a couple times. Yeah. Oh yeah.
well, I mean, unless you grill me about my traffic tickets,
Oh,
I'll
we
probably.
will. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's all.
so right- 'cause
Joe,
right now-
Joe, we're not even through the cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is going. You're on the hot seat.
I-
I'm letting you off. I got you on the hook. You're not going anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so was this the only time you had a police interaction with the Intrepid?
No.
Of course not. So please tell us about
So
the next
I
time.
had the car for 4 years. Now that car was a beast. It was a very well constructed vehicle. I had 3 accidents with the car. I'll tell you. I'm hoping I could remember all 3. I had one.
You can. You're a fucking encyclopedia.
Am I supposed? I don't want to mention. Like too much in like it's. Does it matter? Like
What are you going to say? Your social security number?
No, but like
I don't want to hear about who hit you. Okay.
No.
What are you going to say?
In the city of Johnstown.
Joe, you're
Yeah.
allowed to talk about cities and places.
I was turning out of the Stewarts, and
Okay.
I was in the turn. I was turning into the turning lane, but I turned into the left part where people actually make lefts. It wasn't the actual turning lane, and I got hit head on.
So did you turn in the exact opposite way you were supposed to turn?
I was supposed to go up and actually turn into the yellow.
Yeah. So what did you do?
I
Just
turned,
drive out and drive into somebody?
I turned into the white and I got hit.
Jesus.
So that accident, that was my fault. It was the same thing.
No shit.
They wrote me a ticket.
This was the first accident with the Intrepid?
This was the first accident with the Intrepid.
With the Intrepid, mind you.
Yeah.
We're already past the Lumina and the Cutlass gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
And now it's a second speeding ticket or a careless
No,
driving
well,
ticket.
then I had 2 additional accidents, both of which were not my fault. I had.
Okay.
All right, you had a rabbit's foot in your pocket this time.
Okay, so do you remember any of them?
Yeah, I was stopped at a red light in the Gloversville and I got hit in the rear end.
Okay.
By an unlicensed driver.
Of course.
And then, of course, they didn't want to call the police because they were unlicensed.
So what'd you do, beat them up?
No, I told them, I said, wait till the police get here. I'm going to tell them that you waited, that you were nice to me, and I didn't want them to give you a ticket for unlicensed operation.
Okay.
So I did.
To you.
I did exactly what I said I was going to do.
Hey, this guy was really nice. I don't care if he ain't got a license. He's a stand-up guy.
10 accidents.
Not only was it a lady, it was
a lady.
She was an exotic dancer. She worked at like a strip club.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, wait a minute.
Wait, you're going to talk out of this.
Okay.
She was telling me about her, the fact that she was unlicensed because she got a DWI. And I actually felt bad for her, and I did tell the police officer that I don't think that she should get a ticket for unlicensed operation. He ended up just giving her a ticket for hitting me, following too closely, and he told her not to drive.
He gave you her ticket too.
He brought it in.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Wait, where do you?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah.
It was right in Gloversville.
Okay, so she got out and screamed, "I'm a stripper."
No, she didn't. We were talking because we were waiting for the police to get there.
How do you get this information out of people?
Well, we were just chatting. We were talking.
That's not just chatting conversation.
Yeah.
You just go, it's the clouds are nice. Sorry about this accident. I'm a stripper. I also have a DWI and I'm no license.
No, what happened was I think.
Surprise!
I think what happened was she told me that she was just coming home from work and it was like 7:00 in the morning. So,
As a stripper?
Yeah, I was just curious.
Stripper work.
Maybe she was the guard at the strip bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she told me she was a stripper, but either way.
Yeah, way.
They wrote up the accident. And I went to.
This is the one you hit head on, or this is the one
where I got rear-ended.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that accident, these cars, so far, I haven't told you about any car that I actually have collision on. So like the previous accident was me just driving around with the car the way it was. And then when I got rear-ended, that I was able to actually have fixed. But I didn't have a backyard mechanic at this time. I actually had switched. There was a really small-time car dealership that's no longer in business.
He was a kitchen mechanic?
No, the place used to be called Credit on Cars. It was in Johnstown.
Oh man. Okay.
And he would do things on the side for me, but he had a garage. So if I brought a car there to get fixed, he would do the work for me, but he would have a garage so he would charge me not on the books.
Are you like some kind of super
he would charge me like
shit for cheap? Like, are you some kind of?
I like getting cheap. I don't want to spend a lot of money on car repairs.
Fuck everyone else's lives. I'm gonna smash into them.
So
this is the Intrepid.
Yeah,
now you got it fixed. But there's another accident.
But this accident here, where I got rear-ended, I think the insurance company, if I remember correctly, gave me a check for like $2,000.
Yeah,
and I got it fixed for like $300.
Oh my god!
They put a bumper on it from a junkyard. It was a different color. No, it's not though.
I know it's not.
They give you an estimate. Yeah.
I understand. But jeez. Yeah. If there's a loop in a hole, you're there. You are there.
You find it any which way you can.
Okay, so the Intrepid, you got hit by the lady of the evening. Mm-hmm. You flew out into oncoming traffic and hit somebody head on. Now what happened with the third Intrepid accident?
They were just so.
Is there more?
You reversed the order. It was the rear end accident happened after the other one. So the third one is I was on the road I live on, and
not presently.
Correct. I was sitting at a stop sign.
Doing what?
It was a four-way stop sign.
Right.
And I stopped at the stop sign.
Yeah.
And then I went, and then the car on the other side ran the stop sign and hit the side of the car.
Okay.
That was
your side?
It was my side, but it was the front, so it wasn't the door. They actually hit the front end and damaged the wheel well and everything else. That was the last accident with that car.
What'd you do?
We turned it in. I called the police. We had the
What'd you say to the police? I need help.
Yeah, they wrote the.
They said, "Hey, it's me."
Hey, it's me. Hey.
Well, this is the Gloversville police. If you remember correctly, the other accidents happened in Johnstown. This is only the second Gloversville accident.
They communicate between. They
know about you. I'm sure everybody knows about you.
So they wrote the other driver a ticket. One of them had to be brought to the hospital.
Oh Lord.
And,
okay, our first injury from these.
Yeah,
first casualty.
I don't know, but it was wrote on the accident report that the person was injured.
No, Joe. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Was this before or after you whooped the shit out of them for running the stop sign and hitting your car?
Yeah, after you body slammed these people.
I didn't body slam anybody.
Did you get out and knock on their window?
I'll tell. We're going through a chronological.
I
will tell you if there's any accidents that I've even raised my voice.
And I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So the Intrepid is gone?
Wait a minute.
Okay. So you got the accident.
I forgot about something.
Oh no.
I think there was a fourth accident.
I'm sure there was. This is why these dives are deep. This is why we have to do this.
I can't remember. It was either that car or the Lumina.
Okay.
I had another Lumina after it. I had a 1999.
After the Intrepid?
Yeah, I had a 1999 Chevy Lumina.
Lumina too.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the yes. That was the one I had on my street was the last one I had with that car. The
Intrepid is gone.
Yeah, I had it for about 4 years. It had a pretty good run.
3 accidents.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 accidents and a couple of tickets that you beat in court.
Yeah.
The one where you ran by the trooper and threw your drink at him while he's pulling somebody over, and the other one, stole his hat when you drove by him and screamed at him.
So now,
that is a good run, Joe.
That is a good run with the Intrepid. Okay.
Now there was another vehicle that I purchased that I had for about a year, and I sold it. But that vehicle. That vehicle was, I didn't get into any collisions with it, but it would break down all the time. I had the fuel pump go on me.
Hold on, what vehicle was this?
A Chevy Blazer. A 94 Blazer.
I think this is one that we know. Yeah. I knew you when you had this.
Yeah.
This is the old style Blazer. This is the real shitbox Blazer.
Yeah, it was junk. What a piece of garbage.
Because I think in the 70s, weren't the Blazers big and square?
Yeah, they were like a box car.
Yeah,
they were a box car.
Well, this was small and square. What was it? It was a Blazer.
Yeah. It was having all kinds of problems. It had fuel injector problems.
Hold on, we gotta go because there's usually some weird. Where'd you get it from?
I
bought in a hill.
I bought it from that guy that would fix my cars.
Credit for gold, cash for cars.
That place. Credit on cars.
Crazy Willie's cheap emporium of cars.
Yeah. But that car, I mean, I didn't have any collisions with it. I only had it for a year. And I'm getting back at this point in my driving history. I'm starting to improve a little bit.
Thank
goodness. 9 accidents later.
So I had that for a year, and then I ended up getting the Lumina, the 99 Lumina.
Lumina number 2.
Yeah, that car had about 200,000 miles on it.
No, how much did
when
you
I
buy
bought
it for?
But everything was fixed.
Wait a minute. So it went the Intrepid, the Blazer, then the Lumina.
Yeah.
So how much did you pay for the Blazer?
Actually, before we mentioned the Lumina, there was something else that there was a van.
Oh no! Is this the $50 van?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's the $50 one.
We need to hear this $50. I love. I'm looking at your levels, and I see where the thought bubble appears, and I can see the whispers.
Just so everybody listening knows, I am trying to remember the chronological order of everything because it was so long ago. I'm doing the very best I can with remembering, like the different vehicles and what order they're supposed to be in. But the van, my dad was with his ex-girlfriend. Okay. He's not with her anymore.
Okay.
And we passed a garage sale where it was in the Boston Spa area.
Okay. We know where Boston Spa is. That's hoity-toity.
Yeah,
You're big living over there.
She was originally from Saratoga, the lady.
The lady?
Yeah.
Other night.
And
The
we're just going to refer to her as the lady for the sake of this podcast. There's no
Sure.
reason to call anybody out. And
I don't-
she only was a very small part of the story. But
Now she's a very large part of the story.
well,
we seem to be talking
Yeah.
about nothing but her.
yeah, I know what you mean. But that's when we get into the story about
That's a great bit.
into the story about the car.
Yeah.
She's going to be a very small part of the story.
Okay.
So
But you keep on bringing her up, so
Yeah.
she keeps on remaining a part
that's
of the story.
true. But we drove past the
You, Dad, and the focal point of the story drove by.
We drove past the garage sale. We
Okay.
sort of it was a Dodge Caravan.
Oh,
It looked like a 1972. The car was in such bad shape.
Okay.
My dad did not, and he was the one that was making the decisions at that time. He did not want to get the van. He wanted to pass it. And he said to me, Joe, this vehicle's going to have all kinds of problems. And I said, I agree with you. I think it's dumb. And then he called his backyard mechanic. Wait
a minute. Hold on. You glossed over one part. You quickly glossed over something.
What?
So your dad said, Joe, I don't think you should do this.
Yeah. Reason.
Now, hold on. And you said, yeah, I don't think I should do this.
Yeah.
And then you went ahead and did it.
Well, the reason.
No. And then
But I want to tell you the reason why we did it. The reason
Okay.
why we
$50?
did it was because the former ex-girlfriend thought it was a good idea, and my dad wanted some clarity, so he called the backyard mechanic and asked, is this something we should do? And the guy said, if you do it and it doesn't work out, you're only out $50. Now, that wasn't true because you had to register it, to drive it there, and all of that. So we were really out more like $200 by the time we were done. And he gets the vehicle and he says it's not worth fixing. It has, he gave like a list of like 20 different problems the vehicle has. He said the transmission was slipping. He said, but appropriately, the backyard mechanic is also a junkyard, so he took the vehicle.
Did he
You
give you
don't
50?
drive it?
We didn't drive. We drove it there. We drove it to about 45 minutes to his because he was in Johnstown. So it was about a 45-minute ride, but it kept quitting, and you had to wait 10 minutes and then start it back up. There was something with the idle control.
Did you
and it
have
had a
to-
bunch of other problems.
Did you get $50 back for it?
No, we junked it. So I got nothing.
Okay, so basically you paid a guy to take his junk away. And then paid New York for a free registration.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And then I ended up getting the 99 Lumina, and I transferred the plates and stuff.
So now when you get pulled over, the cops think you're driving a 1992 Dodge Caravan?
No, I did it properly. I
Oh,
went
okay.
to-
So continue.
And that car I had for a few years. I had it for like 2 or 3 years. The alternator crapped out on the throughway, left me stranded. I had to have it towed off the throughway.
Yeah.
That was the only time I broke down with it.
Is this the one where you con AAA?
That was when I was going to ITT Tech.
Yeah, but what
So
about
you
when
knew me then. You knew me then.
I've known you forever. I just didn't know where you were.
Oh, yeah. No.
Is that where you con AAA?
Yeah, that's not conning. It's
That is definitely
it's,
conning.
uh,
It's the definition of conning them.
Oh, this
Is this that
I'm
episode?
glad you mentioned that because you're right.
Which car was that?
That was the 99 Lumina, the one that we're talking about now. So that car broke down. It broke down twice now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because it broke down once on the throughway, the
Yes.
alternator. I had it towed off. They dropped it in some weird place in the Schenectady area.
Where?
It was
Just some garage?
yeah,
Okay.
but he didn't want to tow it. I wanted to have it towed back to where I lived in Gloversville, which he was supposed to do because it was AAA, but he didn't want to.
Well, I'm sure you were up in arms about that.
Well, not only did I lay it onto him thick,
Oh,
but in
Lord.
addition to yelling at him,
Oh,
I
Lord.
also called AAA and I had the road service call refunded to my account because he didn't fulfill his obligations as a AAA tow truck
Oh
driver.
my God! I
Which
love
is
it.
to tow the
You
vehicle
are fucking
100
ruthless.
miles.
You are ruthless. You
Yeah.
are like going to
there's
war
no
with Sun Tzu.
excuse why the service it has to be watered down because he doesn't want to drive the car 100 miles.
Okay, we like AAA. We don't want to fight with them. We're
No.
fighting Kamala and apparently your driving record right now. Okay,
So,
we're not fighting AAA.
Yeah. So after that, there was
Then you broke down on the way to your sister's.
no,
or something.
it was not. We were actually going to Connecticut
Okay.
to see my aunt and my uncle.
In the 1999 Chevy Lumina.
Yes.
Okay.
There were
Who?
2 vehicles. There was me and my sister in one, and then there was my dad and his
The minivan lady.
no, it was it was my stepmom
Okay.
by that point.
Okay.
So it was
Going
him.
90 down the highway.
No, we were not. We were
Going
driving
88 down the highway.
We were driving
105.
140.
We were driving normal, but we ended up. It was when Sears was open, and we ended up in a Sears parking lot. And what ended up happening was my vehicle wouldn't start, and we found it to be a gas leak. Gas line was broken on it.
Okay.
So I had to have it towed, but my dad had this idea to have it towed back home.
How many miles?
It was like 160 or something like that.
Yeah.
So what we did was
what we did. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Here comes the flam and the flim.
Well,
here it comes.
I
The
want
The flammer.
Yeah, I want to explain this to you because it wasn't the scam wasn't my idea, and it wasn't a scam. It wasn't a scam.
Okay, it is not a scam.
Yeah.
I will give you that. It's not a
Yeah,
scam.
and it wasn't
but I'll
my
also tell
idea.
you, it's a total fucking scam.
Well,
You're a
but-
scam artist. What are you talking about?
But I'm just saying it wasn't my idea.
It doesn't
Well, let me
matter.
explain the
Okay,
story.
Okay.
Okay?
scammer.
So
Scammo.
we
Scammo.
we
Calm down,
called
Joe.
so we called AAA,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
To scam 'em.
My dad,
Scam him. Yeah, the scam. Okay.
my dad said, even though he knew. He wanted to go see my aunt and uncle because my uncle was his brother. So he says,
No shit.
so he leaves me totally on my own. He takes my sister with him, and he says,
Wait a minute. Your dad, your dad wants to see your uncle, which
Yeah.
is his brother,
yeah,
and he gets your sister out, your poor sister.
yeah. But
Gets
he
your sister out the car and says, he throws up the peace sign and
Well,
drives away. Like, what?
no. Well, he tells.
Your dad and Tom's dad should meet and hang out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
You'd be
he-
flying to Iran thinking you're going to a fucking oasis.
Well, he told me, he said you only need one person to ride back with the car, so it's going to be you because it's your car.
your car.
And then he tells me, this is what else he tells me. This gets good. He tells me, he says, just tell the tow truck driver if they need money that you don't have one, that you don't have any money. You don't have a credit card. You don't have nothing.
Oh, God.
Just tell them that
This
when
poor
they
truck
ask for
driver,
money.
Poor Elmer, the truck driver. Poor guy.
Elroy.
Elroy, the truck driver.
So
poor guy.
we got to be pushing almost an hour.
Oh,
so
I don't care. Keep going. I don't care.
so either way, what ends up happening is, and I'm glad we're getting into this tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure
am I.
many people are glad
so
we're getting into this.
So he tows the car, and he says, and the tow truck driver, asks, "What are you going to do to cover the extra miles? This is quite a distance." And I said to him, by now my family's gone. They're doing what they and I'm sitting in a flatbed with the guy in the
Hey,
car.
God, I don't got any
so-
We're
money.
driving. We're going towards home.
We're going towards Albany.
Yeah, right towards Albany.
Okay.
He says to me, "What do you want to do about the fact that you have all this extra mileage that isn't covered under your AAA membership?"
What was covered?
100 miles.
How many times?
Just once.
Okay.
Because the way it works is you can only get one service call per allotment. So each call is technically 100 miles.
Okay.
So what he told me to do was, he said, if you don't have money, he said, I'm only going to tow the car 100 miles.
Okay.
So we found this parking lot In the
riding around with his fucking tow truck guy, waiting to get murdered. You were like the perfect murder victim. Get my tow truck.
Get my
kid.
tow truck, boy.
Get my tow truck,
I'm still trying to finish.
Sorry, I understand.
So. We decided to. Well, he was the one who decided for me. He suggested it, and I knew that I wasn't going to spend any money on the tow because my dad told me not to, and I didn't have any money.
Did you already get in the truck and just scream, "I don't have money"?
No.
Pull out your pockets.
He was towing it, and then he realized it was more than 100 miles. So he said, "Why don't we drop the car off, and I'll figure out a place to drop it off." And then you could just call AAA again and put in another road service call, and they'll pick you up and drive you the rest of the way. This was his idea.
What time of night is this?
This was the middle of the day. It was the morning.
Scamming in daylight. I love it. Scamming in daylight.
And it's funny, too.
It's
because
definitely funny.
He decided... Now, where he decided to drop the car off is still about 40 or 50 miles, 50 miles probably, from the mechanic shop that my dad wanted the car towed to.
The backyard mechanic?
Yeah, the backyard
mechanic. Hey, tow to this guy's driveway.
Cooter.
Cooter to mechanic.
So either way, he leaves it in a very busy parking lot, I might say, at Crossgates Mall.
Oh, Lord.
In the back of the parking lot, all the way at the end where there's really no cars, but the rest of the parking lot is like totally, there's just a lot of cars there.
Okay.
So he drops it off, and then I go into the food court, and I ate.
He drops it off and regrets his choice of work.
Wait, how'd you eat?
He was no. He had money.
I had money.
I know.
Tell him not to
it wasn't
money.
a lot of money. I wasn't really working that much at the time.
And then the tow truck driver saw you eating food.
Yeah. Tow truck driver saw you stuffing your face.
Well, what I did was before I went in to eat, I called AAA again, and they said it was going to be like 2 hours before they could get to me. So then I ate, and then they call. The way it works is they call you when they get in the parking lot. And then I went out there and they towed the car the rest of the way. That's what happened.
What a brilliant scam.
And it wasn't concocted by me. So
the tow truck driver. You and the tow truck driver scam.
Well, the tow truck driver, I think, pretty much said that. Pretty much made the decision.
Get out of my fucking car.
Yeah.
Get out of my truck. I've had enough of you.
He said he basically knew he wasn't going to do it for free, which is what my dad kind of wanted, So.
Oh, your dad wanted him to drive 500 miles?
Your dad wanted him to have a heart of gold.
He pretty much told me, he said, don't tell them anything. Don't tell them you have a credit card. You have no money. Don't tell them anything.
You got in the car, you got in the truck and didn't say anything. You sat there.
And my dad's given me some really good ideas over the years with my cars, because he's also told me not to bring the cars to the dealership because they're too high priced, and you got to go to a different place.
Listen, I have that'll be another rant. My father got thrown out of 2 or 3 car dealerships. I've only been thrown out of 1, but that's a whole different story. My producer was there. No, I got told to leave and then given a yellow rental car with pink writing on it. They wanted me out and they hated me. Yeah, all because of Thor. But that's a whole nother story. But how long we been going for?
48 minutes.
Okay, you're not off the hook yet. So after you scammed AAA and you got the Lumina back, did it get fixed?
It actually it did get fixed. We did fix it.
Now, did you already tell your dad you got home?
Yeah.
He didn't just drive away and think that was it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, I had that car.
I remember that car. Was it black?
It was like dark green.
Yeah, I remember that car.
I had that car for probably like 3 years, but I got into an accident with it.
Really?
No. This one was not my fault.
No, I understand. It doesn't matter anymore. At this point, it don't matter whose fucking fault it is.
What they did was, this is the first car that I had that was actually totaled by the insurance company.
Okay.
And what they did was, they did an estimate on the car, and I basically, they wrote me the refund check that it was totaled. And I said to them, I said, okay, so I don't want the car anymore. I said, what are you gonna do now? And they said, you don't have to worry about the car. They said, we're gonna take it to the junkyard. They said, if you don't want it and it's totaled, you could just take it. And that's what they did. They actually, I don't know if you noticed, but they take care of getting rid of the car.
Who's your insurance company? Fucking Mafia? What is going on? You just come and take your car?
No,
but it
was like Progressive. So they actually they tow it. They write you the check.
Yeah, and then Flo shows up and fucking tows it away.
Well, a tow truck will come and take it and junk it. You don't have to do anything when they. And I didn't know that when I first. When they wrote me
it all started many years ago, many moons ago, when you got on the fucking road.
But they actually, yeah. So then after that, I had a really good period. I had a Nissan Altima.
Yes, you do. Yes, you did. Don't you have an Altima now?
No, I don't.
What do you have now? A Corolla?
Yeah. Well, should I tell the story about the loan now? Because that's what this car is.
Oh, man.
Now you got to talk about the Jeep Liberty.
So was the Jeep Liberty before that, or no?
And then the wheel
okay.
No,
then
you skipped over the wheel flying off.
Somebody wake up Tom, and we got to talk about how you know how that song goes. I fought the law, and the law won.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, hold on. Joe fought the bank, and somehow Joe won.
Joe could beat City Hall.
Joe beats everybody somehow. I don't understand, but yes.
You got to be assertive.
Yeah, you got to be assertive. Yeah, okay. So do you want to? You go ahead and tell the story.
And I don't mind talking about this now because none of this stuff is still existing. It's none of it's actually valid anymore.
It exists every day in my mind when I think about this nonsense.
I had a judgment because I signed up for a gym membership that I never used back when I was in college when I was like 22.
Okay.
It took them years to get it through court, and they put the judgment against me.
Okay.
Somehow or another, this stupid bank credit union, I'm not going to mention the name of it.
You don't have to.
Yeah, because they're still in business.
Yes, they are.
So they ended up getting my credit report, and they approved me for the loan.
Yes, okay. So they approved you for how much? We can say the amount, $13,000.
It was 15.
15 grand. Okay.
And the car was like 12.
Here you go, Joe. Here's a loan. You know, good job. We checked your credit report. Good job. I'm Mr. Bank Teller. Here's your money.
So I go back to the dealership to get the paperwork to close the loan, because when you close a loan at a bank, the dealership wouldn't give me financing. So they gave me the paperwork. So it was what they give you is they give you a sales agreement that you have to bring back to them.
Yes.
And they give you the total amount, and then you bring them back a loan check. You have to close the loan.
Certified check or whatever. Yes.
So I went back to the bank to close the loan.
Yes.
And they said to me, you can't close this loan because you have a judgment against you.
Oh, that was the biggest mistake they ever made.
And I thought to myself, I said, this doesn't sound right. I said, I was approved for the loan already. I said, you said things were ready to go. And it ended up going to the branch manager.
Hold on.
This was the banker I was talking to.
Yeah, but you're okay. Okay. I just want to make sure you're not leaving out any parts.
I'm not.
Okay.
So what it was is, I don't know the person's name, but they told me, they were like, we can't close the loan because there's a judgment against you. So what I ended up doing was
what time is this?
It was like 4:30 right before the bank closed. Like, it was late. They gave me to the branch manager, and the branch manager took me at the desk and explained everything to me and said, well, we can't close the loan. It was I forgot there was a judgment against you. I
forgot there was a judgment. I forgot you killed 17 people. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
what was the expression she used?
She
used I
get me out of here.
I didn't see it. I oversaw it or something. She didn't realize
I didn't see it.
Yeah, she didn't realize there was a judgment against me.
I didn't see that giant red writing that said danger, danger, danger.
I bet you, Joe, you had an expression for her. I bet.
Yes,
yeah,
you probably did.
No, I was very nice and very polite. But you know how Teddy Roosevelt said, I'm a nice guy, but I carry a big stick?
Correct.
In this case, my big stick was the phone. Because after I went back to the car, I called the corporate office.
Okay, now hold on. To our many fan out there, so you're out of the bank now. They told you, F you, you're not getting your money.
Yep.
So now the bank is closed.
The bank is closed.
So you go out to your car.
Yeah.
And okay, now what do you do?
I called them up.
You call who?
The bank.
The bank from outside in your car.
From outside in my car.
You're calling the bank?
Yeah,
or you called the corporate office?
The corporate office,
okay.
Which is probably the same thing.
Call the bank.
Yeah, I mean, it was like when I called, it was like 4:59, but they got me on with somebody, and they said you'll get a call back right away in the morning. And they called me back, and they told me that they wanted to me to come close the loan. So I went.
So let me tell you. So
I don't know if anyone got fired.
No,
really
you
don't.
glossed over it again because. So after you argued with the lady at the desk and probably tipped over pencil tray,
I didn't do anything. No, I was really nice.
You went out to your car and you called the corporate offices.
Yeah.
And bitched at them until they relented.
No, I didn't. I explained the situation. I explained that they gave me a loan and then they retracted it when I brought the paperwork from the dealership. I explained the reason why. And I said that it was approved previously.
Oh, this poor guy from India is really this poor guy. Atmanai on India. Oh, he's probably so sad right now.
But either way, what ended up happening was
I know what happened.
I got a call and I was good to go after that.
Yeah.
If now
true or false? They had to open the bank back up and give you your shit.
They did not.
They did not?
It was the next day.
It was the next day?
Yeah, and I came there with the paperwork and they let me sign the loan.
Did you have to did you gloat or anything? Did you point
I
at
didn't do anything.
Did you rub it in? No.
Did you rub it in at all?
No. I was very good.
You didn't say, when you were signing, you didn't make big loops with the J.
I did not. I'm happy they gave me the loan because no one else.
I bet you they weren't.
Because no one else was going to give it to me. So it worked out good.
This guy walked away from a gym membership. We can't have him borrow money for a car.
So say it ain't so.
But either way, I got that wiped. Whatever that was, I got it wiped off the credit report later on.
Oh, I'm sure you did. That's another podcast episode right now. That poor gym membership. Good Lord.
But now
that poor gym.
Now we're actually starting to get near the end here. We're into the current situation with the cars. There's still a little bit more.
Well, I know.
So the Nissan Altima, I had that vehicle for 3 years. That vehicle I drove, I didn't have any mishaps with the vehicle.
But you drove that car everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You drove that shit everywhere.
I did. Now,
people, when I say he drove this shit everywhere, I don't mean to the store and to work. This dude goes everywhere. He sends us pictures from California. I didn't even know he was going to California. He sends me a picture in front of the fucking bridge. Yeah. Tennessee, Connecticut. You're all over the place.
Parks everywhere too.
I gotta tell you,
septic tanks.
I am thoroughly enjoying talking about all this stuff right now.
Yeah, because it's incredible that the fucking SWAT team ain't kicking out my door and arresting you.
You know why? Because I just thought of a story with this car, with the Nissan Altima.
I'm sure you did.
So, when I moved from my old apartment to my new apartment, we're talking about 2 days, a day or two after I was in my new apartment, the one I'm in now.
Yeah.
I went ahead and I was driving.
Your first mistake.
No, I don't know what road I was. I was in Latham. And I was just driving. I don't remember where I was going or what I was doing, but I was on the main road.
Sure, Route 9 or Route 7.
It was Route 9.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I hear a snap. And then, now mind you, the car has 172,000 miles. So I heard this snap, this snapping noise. It was a belt that snapped.
Your serpentine
and I
belt.
couldn't turn the wheel or anything, and the car.
Oh, it was your power steering belt?
It was the serpentine.
Oh, okay.
And the car, it was getting warm and stuff. But there was
cars on fire. I had to pull over.
There was the dealership, the Northway Toyota dealership, that was right there, literally right there.
Okay.
So I drive into the Northway Toyota dealership.
On fire.
I was not on fire.
Okay.
I said, you know what? This place is immaculate. I was like, this is amazing.
It is nice.
So, and this was before the fire that they had. They actually have it even better. It looks better than it did because they built a whole new building.
Wait a minute. The fire.
They had a big fire a couple of years ago.
It was from your car.
And
The car started that fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we so what we did was, instead of getting the car fixed, which was initially the plan, I went to the sales team and I said to them, this car's getting old and it had some problems where it broke down, and it's a Nissan, it's not a Toyota. I'm like, can you possibly get me a new car? I mean, I don't want a brand new car. I want like a used car, like when I bought that car, like 2 years old or something like that. And we started test driving cars, and all of a sudden, before I know it, I'm getting this really good deal on this Toyota Camry. But like, we're talking about literally nobody buys a car like this. Nobody does. I drove it into the dealership and I left with a car. I mean, it just...
I wouldn't give you a fucking potato gun. I would give you nothing.
And you know what's funny about it?
Everything.
My credit was starting to get a little bit better, but it was still not good. It was like 5 something.
Oh, my God.
That's not good.
But they gave me
APR
a
75%. Oh,
Well, what happened was...
85.
It was
90 payments of $40,000. Holy Christ.
It was a 2011 Camry.
Yeah, and you paid $60,000 for it.
I did not.
Okay. Yeah,
What
$55.90.
What happened was I got the loan.
Oh,
Now,
no.
the loan, the interest rate was 13%. But
Okay.
what I did was, after the loan, after my credit improved, I refinanced.
You
the
faked your death?
Okay.
loan. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I didn't.
You
But,
refinanced.
yeah.
Okay.
But I got the car for maybe $2,000. None of my family could believe that I just went in there from being broken down on the side of the road and buying a car and just leaving like that.
Because nobody believes that. It doesn't usually happen like that.
Yeah.
But
But-
I can only imagine you like limping into the dealership like fucking Uncle Buck and the muffler falling off and
But let me tell you something. When I was test driving the car, the 2011 Camry,
Yeah.
the weather was crappy and it was snowing out.
oh my God.
And I was in this car with this beautiful lady. I mean,
Oh my God.
poor sucker. I felt bad for her. She was in the passenger side and I was in the driver's side
I would
driving
hope.
the car.
I would hope.
And I go
You're
around.
sitting in the back.
I go around this corner, and it was a
Yeah.
little slippery, and I
Yeah.
like peel out a little
Oh,
bit like
Jesus.
fishtail.
Yeah.
And then I regained control, and she was like holding on to shit.
Oh, my God.
It was unbelievable. But that car, I ended up getting that car, and that car was fine, really. I mean, I had the one accident but that accident I was backed into. It was a parking lot accident where someone backed into me.
And what'd you do?
We
Get
ended
out
up
and
exchanging
scream at 'em.
Get out and
insurance
scream at him.
information.
Yeah, why is that my first response?
I went to the best dealership, not the best dealership, the best body shop in the area to get the car fixed.
Some guy's garage?
No,
No, it was-
front yard mechanic.
Front yard mechanic, yeah.
It was in the worst section of Troy, but they did
Oh,
they did a
Jesus.
really good job on the car.
Yeah, but it doesn't count if you get shot going to get your car.
But
Doesn't
you
matter
gotta-
if they do a good job
Yeah,
if
but
you're
you can
dead.
but you can go to Dinosaur Barbecue
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah, that's why you got it fixed there, so you go to Dinosaur Barbecue.
That's how he told us he knew his way around
Yeah,
Troy.
that's how you knew your way
And
around
I'm trying
Troy.
to think if I had any.
I drove that car.
I had that car for a while.
Yeah, I drove that car.
I had that car for 4 years. That was even longer than I had the Nissan Altima. I had that car for a while, and
That's the car where I drove with you. I
Yeah.
rode with you one
That
time,
was the
and then
one-
I drove for the rest of the time.
that was the one by Popeyes where the
Yeah,
where the
I know.
pedestrian came out in front of me, and I
Yeah.
hit the brakes, and the car hit me in the rear end. So
Oh, this is another.
I got
this is-
rear. That was
okay.
that was the same car.
Okay.
So
this
that
is the one where you got out, and the poor lady got out of her car, and you said, "Hey, didn't you see me stopping for this guy?
Well,
What, you
yeah.
want me to run this fucking guy over?"
It was a pedestrian crosswalk. There was someone coming. They crossed where they crossed. The lady should have been able to easily see it, but I mean, maybe for whatever reason, she didn't. It was at night. I mean, it was well lit, but.
So after she hit you,
I did get out and I did yell at her a little bit. No, I wasn't too.
I knew it.
I wasn't too. I did get into it a little bit with her.
Why?
Because I mean,
because
I mean, I'm getting sick and tired of having all these accidents because people don't pay attention.
Exactly.
They're always hitting me, driving into me, rear-ending me, side-swiping me,
oh my God,
backing into me.
Damn, if you,
you
were
know,
out there in
I
podcast world, my deepest apologies.
So the lady,
the poor innocent
Yeah.
lady.
The lady had a kid. So
no, what'd you do? Steal her kid?
No, I did not. But the first thing I wanted her to make sure the kid was okay.
You screamed at
Check
the
that
kid.
fucking kid right now. That kid better be okay, lady. It's just insane.
Still
to
gotta
me.
berate you.
That was the one where I thought I had a neck problem.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you did. I'm sure
Did
you
you wear-
Ow.
Did you wear a neck brace for a month?
But I went to get checked
back,
out.
my
They
head.
said, you don't have any problems. You're good to go.
Get out of here, scammy. Get out of here, you scam artist. Beat it, you
should've
insurance
done it.
scammer.
My
Kick
back,
rock.
my head, my neck.
Oh, Joe, you are.
Well, my dad told me to go to the doctor.
course. Oh, my God. Don't blame your
he
dad.
says you could sue. You could.
You could sue. This
Yeah.
lady didn't have nothing.
No.
I think that's the cue that the podcast needs to end soon. We're getting the
Okay.
obligatory stomped on the ceiling because we're being too loud.
Our mom doesn't want us talking.
Yeah.
We're up too
Yes,
late.
our mom says we're up too late.
So after that,
Yes.
It's a
one,
school night.
Yes, it is a school night.
That was the. I didn't total the car in that. That was the last. That was a small accident. It was the last accident I had with that car.
Is this the last accident period?
Well, after I traded in that car, right?
Jesus.
Whole other
What
podcast.
was the other car I had?
The Jeep Liberty.
The Jeep Liberty.
No, not the Jeep. The
You
Jeep
skipped over
the
that.
Jeep. The Jeep Liberty was stolen.
Yeah,
That
but
was-
we need that. That's
Yeah.
an interesting story.
So, all right, we'll mention the Jeep
So,
Liberty. It was right around that time.
You know what? Should we? We kind of got the tone it down signal.
Yeah.
So we can't be loud and exactly boisterous at this time. It's late. It's on a Wednesday night. My wife went to bed and she stomped on the ceiling and told us to quiet down.
But,
So
okay.
I think we should end. And now your phone's going off. There's probably an insurance company canceling your fucking deductible. But how about we do a part 2? Because we still got to get into riding with you. We got to get into your GPS, the one you bought for 99 cents off of eBay that told us to turn mid-fucking intersection.
Okay.
There's a lot to get
And
into
when the
with you.
wheels went flying off your car,
Yes, we
a
got
wheel went flying off.
Yeah,
Alright.
we got to get into the wheel flying off into the other lane. There's a lot of stuff we got to cover, and we got to cover about how you fight the law and somehow win.
Okay.
Okay? So, Joe, I want to thank you. This has been a Joe-heavy episode, but this driving record, it has to be exposed. The masses need to know.
Okay.
But, Joe, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tom, I told you it was going to be unbelievable.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
But did you know that you were sitting with the APB fucking Joe over there?
I swear, I've never heard of anyone that's had so many goddamn accidents ever
In the world.
in the world. Like, I mean, you can combine all the people I know. I don't think there's been that many accidents.
And we're not even through them all.
Oh,
Wait till we get to the traffic tickets
and
and the
some
court
just like
days.
slipped his mind. Oh yeah, there was this one time yeah.
I know you beat all your tickets. I know we're not speaking ill will about your tickets.
That we already went over though, like all the accidents that I was ticketed from. because
Right,
a lot
but
of-
we didn't get into all the accidents.
No, yeah, there's still stuff left.
Jesus,
Stay
that's gonna
tuned,
be-
like and subscribe so you can hear the.
Yeah, that's
the
that's
next
part
edition.
2. That is part 2. Oh God, Tom, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Joe, once again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now don't chime in with more accidents, okay? We'll
Yeah.
do part 2.
Okay.
Adam, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
And Tom and Adam, thank you for your laughing.
Yeah,
'cause
you're welcome.
You guys were helping me out a lot. I appreciate that. This has been another Unqualified Uprising. Bye for now.